Boys will be boys. This well-worn phrase means that boys are expected to get into trouble. But in Peterson versus Taylor, one boy learned that this isn't always true. 7-year-old David Peterson went next door to the Taylor's house to play with their son. But they weren't home, so David built a fire in their yard with some twigs and matches he'd taken from his uncle's car. When it blew out, David went into the Taylor's bolted shed, where he knew they stored gasoline. He stood on his tippy toes to unlatch the bolt and sniffed the cans inside to find one with gasoline. Next, David threw a lit match into the can and watched it burn. He then grabbed a second gasoline can from the shed and accidentally spilled some on his pants. David dropped the can, and his soaked pants caught on fire, leaving him with serious burns. On David's behalf, his mother, Elaine Peterson, sued the Taylors for negligence. At trial, David admitted he knew he wasn't supposed to be on the Taylors' property when they weren't home, and he was never allowed to go into their shed. He also testified he knew a match could burn or explode gasoline, and he thought about the possibility of being burned when he dropped the match into the first can. David's mother testified that she'd punished him for playing with fire before and warned him about the dangers. An expert testified that David had average intelligence with mild hyperactivity. The expert also stated hyperactive children have a heightened attraction to fire and probably wouldn't fully appreciate the danger of gasoline fires, but admitted such children would know that playing with gasoline and matches can cause burns. Ultimately, the jury found that David was contributory negligent and returned a verdict for the Taylors. Peterson appealed to the Iowa Supreme Court. She argued that the trial court should have found David wasn't negligent as a matter of law because the Taylors didn't present evidence that a reasonable 7-year-old like David would have acted differently.